Next, we'll have Nick, another one of our closest friends.
Nick will be telling us all about the importance of creating global unity from his own personal experience.
Nick has lived in very different countries, including Brazil, the US, Spain, the Netherlands.
Too many to fit in his Instagram bio.
And he will be conveying a very important lesson he has learned along the way. And this is the importance of creating community and unity regardless of our cultural differences. Please welcome Nicolás Gigante.
The United States, Brazil, the Netherlands, and now Spain. These are the countries that I've called home throughout the years. Now, as someone with an international background, it's amazing how I've seen firsthand how people, despite cultural and national differences, can still come together and form a community. Now, before you ask, I'm going to answer your question for you. Why am I just telling you this? What does it matter? Well, it matters because it's really what I want to talk about today. Because today, I want to talk about the idea of global unity. Now, when I say global unity, I don't mean the abolition of borders and all of us singing Kumbaya together. No. I'm talking about something a bit more realistic. I'm talking about a world where despite political, religious, and cultural differences, we can still unite for the betterment of mankind. This idea of global unity was first introduced to me when I moved to the Netherlands, studying at the International School of Utrecht. There, I was introduced to a variety of cultures, variety of nationalities, sometimes even opposing nationalities. However, despite major differences in how we were brought up and our backgrounds, my group of friends and I were still just that, a group of friends. We still hung out together on the weekends, we still studied together, and most importantly, we still grew and developed together as people. Just for you to get an idea of the diversity of this group. Behind me is a photo of me and some of my friends. I'm the one with the orange vest. Thankfully, I only wear navy vests now. Right next to me is my friend in the light shirt. His name's Owen. He is South African. My friend in the red shirt next to him, that's Theo. He's Greek. My friend in front of me, that's Saad, Pakistani. And my friend next to him with the vest, that's Lucas. He is French Malagasy. Not a single one of us had a matching passport, yet we were still very close friends. Now, how does my experience at an international school relate to this idea of global unity at a truly worldwide scale? Well, let's look at a big example first. Now, that photo behind me, you might be thinking, is a photo you one time saw in your history textbook, and let's be honest here, you didn't think twice about. Well, it's actually a lot more than that. That is U.S. President Harry S. Truman signing the legislation that would have the United States officially join the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, also known as NATO. Now, NATO was built on this idea of global unity. It was built on the idea that countries, regardless of cultural previous conflicts, regardless of history, could still unite to deter a common enemy. And if we look at it now, this idea worked. NATO has deterred wars, toppled authoritarian regimes, and served as a guard for the free world, so to speak. Now let's look at an example a little bit closer to home, huh? We've all heard of the COVID vaccines, Pfizer-BioNTech, Oxford-AstraZeneca, and we know we can thank scientists for them, but we can also thank diplomats and this idea of global unity. Pfizer-BioNTech, a product of German and US scientists working alongside one another. Oxford-AstraZeneca, a product of Sweden and the United Kingdom trying to make sure this species recovers and moves past this pandemic. As I said, this pandemic was not only fought with scientists, but with this idea of moving and recovering together, not just as countries, but as a species entirely. Now, I want to talk about an example that is especially close to me. In the Netherlands, as I said, I went to an international school. And there, I think I learned one of the most important lessons in my life so far. And as I said, I have a very diverse group of friends from various nationalities, cultures, religions, etc. And I learned that our differences were not our weaknesses, but in fact our greatest strengths. By having different backgrounds, we had different perspectives, which meant we had different ways to look at obstacles and challenges. Let's say we had a Spanish project, for example. My perspective as an American might challenge me in how we're going to solve a project, but my Vietnamese friend's perspective might make it easier for him to solve such a challenge. It shows how our differences let us look at things differently and eventually solve them. Now, imagine this at a truly worldwide scale. Imagine what we as a species could do. we'd be almost unstoppable, a force to be reckoned with. The days of bickering over policy would end, and we would be able to tackle the real challenges. Climate change, pandemics, poverty, we'd be one step closer to solving them. Now, before I head out, I'd like to issue all a challenge. Look at the person next to you, in front of you, just look at a person. Now, I want you to picture yourselves in their shoes, not just right now, but try to think living their daily life. Once you get their perspective, once you understand them, that will bring us all one step closer to this idea of global unity. Thank you.